What's up, folks? Welcome to 𝗬𝗏𝗠𝗃𝗏. I got a radioactive guest. All right, this guy's hot. He's like Juanito hot. So we gotta keep it kind of fluff for YouTube. Joshua Reed's joining us very soon, folks. Hit the notification button. Mueller, Robert Mueller, is now claiming he's got Parkinson's. I said this stuff would start happening. We're gonna see a lot more of this. Set to testify October. This is going to be an explosive fall. And you got Donald Trump putting out a really ominous, weird type of Truth Social with good night. There it is right there. Good night. And now Josh is going to help us decipher this because he pays attention to these things. But we're going to be real careful on this. We're going to be really careful on this because it is fluff tube. And I have to be like a mime sometimes and play charades. But it's what it is. So, like I said, if you want the real good content, get to 𝗬𝗏𝗠𝗃𝗏. And guess what, folks? I'm feeling pretty good for Labor Day. So everything on 𝗬𝗏𝗠𝗃𝗏 for the next week, a few days actually, is 50% off. Even the General's tent. 50% off. Major's tent, 50% off. Ringside with Nino, 50% off. And today, folks, Ringside with Nino is today at 5 p.m. So we're going to war game and talk about a lot of things, question and answer. We're all meeting up. If you want to join, I suggest you do it today. $11.99, cut that in half, 50% off today. It may not be up on the front end of the site, but you can go there and call somebody, call the 800 number, and you will get 50% off on @Nino'sCorner.tv, and it's for a limited time only on everything, even the General's tent, Major's tent, monthlies, and annuals, baby, everything. So get over there right now. I'm only doing this for a few days, and we're going to knock it out of the friggin' park, folks. Also, folks, when the lights go out on Amazon, there it is. Leave an honest review. It's my story of my life, my fucking crazy life. When the lights go out. And then also, folks, my mama's book, The Mexican Mix, baby. I really do believe the prayers are helping. I have PTSD off the charts. I have stress off the charts with watching my parents just fade away and just deteriorate. And it's taking a very big mental toll on me. So I appreciate everyone who prays and leaves a review for my mom, because I read her the reviews, even though she forgets 30 seconds later. But I still really appreciate it. So thank you. And folks, with that, what about your heart? You need some heart health. Red light therapy may do the trick. What if you could fire up your heart and supercharge your circulation in just 15 minutes without drugs or surgery? That's exactly what cutting-edge research shows red light therapy can do. It charges your heart's mitochondria, helping it beating faster, stronger, longer, and fights inflammation. In one study, mice with heart failure bounced back fast. Their hearts shrank to a healthy size and function soared. No pills, no side effects, just pure light power. Red Life delivers the exact therapeutic wavelengths used in those studies. I use it every day and every night. Every day, every morning, and every night is when I use it. Keep it next to your bed. That's what I do. So you can energize your heart naturally. More stamina, better blood flow, a heart built to last right at home. To claim this breakthrough for yourself, go to myredlight.com and use the code NINO. And I also have the PEMF mat as well. And let me tell you, folks, this stuff is phenomenal. I've had a show with Jonathan Otto many times. He's like the biohacker, right? He's like the medbed biohacker, putting together frequencies, sandwiching frequencies with red light therapy and EMF frequencies. That's not like my type. Frequencies. That's thick frequencies. You guys gotta get the frequencies. All right, so that's what I mean. Frequencies. Folks, X is Nino Boxer, patriotwear.com. Let me know what you want to see in the store. Let me know. Also, Telegram is Nino's Corner. Basically, everything is Nino's Corner except for X. X is Nino Boxer, but everything else is Nino's Corner. And I'm very, very excited about today's show. So stay tuned because Josh is going to knock it out of the park. Pretty wild stuff going on. September and October, getting wild. @Nino'sCorner.tv. Laura Eisenhower and Stuart Swerdlow is up there right now. The Montauk Project survivor, talking about the projects and the coming super states that Trump is going to put into effect. That's why he's trying to get into Greenland, Iceland, Canada. It's kind of like reverse or a different path to globalization by Trump. He talks about this. Now, he's also like a Russian ambassador, and he's in on some very important meetings, and he released a lot of intel on my channel. So it's really compelling, amazing stuff. Also, I got 𝗬𝗂𝗁𝗃𝗁, the general, in the general sense. We just did that. It was fire. I'm going to go ahead and put that up on ninoscorner.tv so everyone can watch it because it was that good. So 𝗬𝗂𝗁𝗃𝗁, the general will be up there. I got Trader Girl Q. I got Wano saving up right now. I got a remote viewer coming on talking about what events they see coming. This ought to be pretty cool. This ought to be pretty cool. And I got Carrie Cassidy coming on with a very important guest talking about NASA scientists, talking about the importance of 3-eye atlas. What is it? What the hell is that? A lot of people are saying, this is it. Is it just a comment? But see, the problem is there's Chilean scientists right now deciphering code saying it's aliens, saying we're on our way. I don't know. See, I think this is the alien card being played. A lot of people are like, don't downplay it. This is serious. I'm like, this is the government thing to me. That's why they're saying it's coming. It's coming. It's using a propulsion system. They're not warping time and space. They're not using wormholes. I don't know. But I'm going to listen to Carrie and what they have to say. They're making a big deal out of this, folks, this 3-eye atlas. And I think, I don't know. I think it's worth doing a show on. Is it going to be the big alien card? I think it possibly can be because they're getting really, really desperate. And people are in trouble. People are in big trouble right now. So, folks, I've been thinking about, do I do the whole yell of the coming at you live anymore? I'm wondering if I should do it, if I shouldn't do it. Let me know if you want to see it. Give me a thumbs up if you want to see it. And if not, I'll quit doing it because I don't know. I feel like maybe we're beyond that now. So let me know if you want to hear me scream because some of you like to turn it down and some of you like to turn it up. So I got to know. Yes, that's your trademark. Okay, no more. So a lot of people don't want to hear it no more. Yes. Yes. All right, 3 more yeses and I'm going. We are beyond that. Okay, no, we're beyond that. No, all right. I like it. Change good, not needed. No screaming. No. All right. We're going to try it without it today. All right. I'm all right. More no's. Turn it up. All right. So today I'm going to try to go without it. Okay? I'm going to try to go without it. Do it. Oh boy, it's mixed. Well, let's try it without it today. All right, so let's get on with it. All right, folks, listen to this. Here we go. October bombshell, folks. October bombshells. All right, you might want to turn it up or turn it down, baby. Oh, yeah. Coming at you live from the apocalypse, folks. Oh, yeah. Fooled ya. All right, October bombshell. You're never going to change me. Clinton's dragged into Testify. Mueller's stunning exit. So now he's. I shouldn't do that. That's not cool. But Parkinson's, that's a serious. Man, I feel like an asshole. But the time is drawing near. The vice grips of agony and anxiety keep closing in upon the deep state actors' heads. They know their fates are sealed if they don't respond in some way, shape, or form, or somehow. I'm telling you here and now that we are now in that window. We are now in that zone. The window of panic and of action is now on both sides. So much that Mueller has now announced, Robert Mueller, who led the Russian investigation on Trump, the 2016 campaign, is now saying, oh, well, I got Parkinson's diagnosis and I will not testify in the Epstein investigation. Just remember this, down south, where they're all going, There's a geriatric ward. There's a hospital for them as well. You're not getting out of this one, buddy. Just sorry, I had to say that. So they're going to be the first maneuvers is going to be this stuff, what we're seeing right now. These are going to be the first maneuvers before the homicides and the self-deleting begin. So this is what they're trying first before we start seeing the homicides and self-deleting. And many, many other desperate attempts trying to escape their fate. Things are going to pick up, especially in the fall. And Josh is going to get into this. And what could pick up? Well, events, distractions. Hey, I got Parkinson's disease. I can't testify. Well, I'm going to say. We're already seeing more and more mass shootings. They're occurring like crazy. So expect larger events and distractions. I know I've been saying this for a long time. And even some of you said like, nothing's happening. You guys were even saying this on the LA fire. I'm like, you don't think that's a big event? I don't know. I don't know. I think that was a pretty big event. I remember it was natural. It was natural. Distractions are necessary, folks. And as the shootings take place, the argument arises that it's time to disarm America. And who's going to do that? Pope Leo. So their goal is to make life so intolerable, so unlivable, that people freely and voluntarily give up their arms, or at the very least allow these crooked, globalist controlled politicians to pass laws that outlaw them or ban the weapons. A direct assault on our Second Amendment, folks. And who better to do that than the Pope? Than the Pope himself. I told you he'd be activated. I told you that. As multiple PSYOP activations begin with certain types of unhinged podcasters who planted, or in my opinion, planted agitators, by the way, in my opinion, spreading hate and disarray and complete friggin' nonsense. They're out there, and you know who they are. We now have the Pope being activated. So Pope Leo now lets his stance be known on gun control. Pope Leo issues fiery call to stop the pandemic of arms. You got to stop it. You know why? You know what works better than a criminal with a gun? Plus, you have to pray for them. You have to pray for them. Prayer for victims of Minnesota school shooting. I'm not saying prayer doesn't work, but I don't know. I don't want to be on my knees praying when someone has a gun to my head. Okay? I'd rather have a gun too. It's time to give up your guns and allow the criminally insane few to have them and be good Catholics. And just pray. Go to church and pray. How did that work out for the last church that got shot up, huh? That was a criminally insane person who shot up a church, and they were in there doing what? Guess. Yeah, they were praying. Just saying. I don't know. As September begins to escalate, remember, have each been subpoenaed by the U.S. House Oversight Committee to testify in a deposition related to the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. Now, a lot of you are saying, oh, that's all over with. We know who's been compromised. We know Trump's in it. Joshua is going to speak on this as well. Scheduled to testify October 9th, 2025. Scheduled to testify October 14th, 2025. The subpoenas are part of a broader oversight effort examining federal handling of sex trafficking and Epstein-related matters. And why is this important? Well, folks, everything is important. They're using the Epstein connection to question them. But what are they going to get to? Well, are they going to get to that Epstein co-found, you know what? Lots of stuff to come out, folks. This is going to lead to a lot of other things. And Speaker Mike Johnson has publicly stated, subpoenaed to testify about the 2016 Trump-Russia investigation. He cited newly declassified documents as deeply problematic and emphasized that no former president should be immune from congressional questioning if deemed necessary. This applies to other figures as well, like John Brennan, James Clapper, and Eric Holder, who may also be called in to testify. It's getting hot. They know this is coming, so things are probably going to pop off soon. Pope Leo's issues fiery call to farms in prayer for victims of Minnesota school shooting. Pope Leo issued a fiery call to stop arms during a prayer for the victims of the shooting in Minnesota Catholic school. Speaking in English during his Sunday blessing from the balcony overlooking St. Peter's Square, the Pope made a strong statement denouncing the attack in which the shooter fired 116 rifle rounds, killing 2 children and injuring 20 people total. Our prayers for the victims of this tragic shooting during a school mass in the American state of Minnesota, Pope Leo said. We hold in our prayers the countless children killed and injured every day around the world. Let us plead to God to stop arms. So in other words, he wants to take away your guns, okay? And you know what? Criminals always will get guns. Remember I said, this guy is going to go, he's going to be a direct opposition to Trump, and that's what he's doing. And he's all for open borders. So he wants open borders, and you know who's going to get the guns if the borders are open? And the criminals. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. Mueller announces Parkinson's diagnosis, will not testify in Epstein investigation. Former FBI director and Trump special counsel Robert Mueller claims, he has Parkinson's disease and cannot comply with the request to testify this week. How convenient. Before a congressional committee investigating the government's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein investigations. The New York Times originally reported Sunday evening before stealth editing their article to lead with the committee having withdrawn their request. Anyway, this sudden Parkinson's diagnosis came shortly after the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee said it would subpoena Mueller to testify on Tuesday. Talk about looking guilty. Over the FBI's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case while he was director of the FBI. Of note, committee chair James Comer wrote in a letter to Mueller, because you were FBI director during the time when Mr. Epstein was under investigation by the FBI, the committee believes that you possess knowledge and information relevant to this investigation. Going to be interesting to see how this plays out, folks. But what's going to be the Clintons' excuse? What are they going to say? Hillary and Bill, they got subpoenaed. Our first gift card winner is Mary Miles, baby. You got the Sancho cheap date. Orale. All right, $25 gift card winner. Gift card wiener, chicken dinner. All right, so thank you so much for playing. Hey, yo. But Mr. Barr writes here. I knew he wasn't nervous. Okay, so during a key meeting to discuss the findings of Mr. Mueller's investigation in 2019, Mr. Mueller's hands were trembling and his voice was tremulous. Mr. Barr wrote in a memoir published in 2022. I knew he wasn't nervous and I wondered if he might have an illness, Mr. Barr wrote. So Mr. Barr is going to bat for Mr. Mueller here, for Robert Mueller. Mr. Barr wrote that after the meeting, he and the Deputy Attorney General at the time, Mr. Rosenstein, discussed Mr. Mueller's condition. Wow, Mr. Barr said. He said to Mr. Rosenstein, Bob has lost a step or two. Other in Comer's crosshair include James Comey, the FBI, and Eric Holder Jr., Merrick Garland, Alberto Gonzalez, Jeff Sessions, and Mr. Barr himself. Interesting. Going to be real interesting. There he is. Yeah. Laugh it up, big guy. Big jelly roll. And hit on Mr. Rudy Giuliani, folks. Really crazy stuff. Breaking: Rudy Giuliani seriously injured in a car accident in New Hampshire, hospitalized with fractured vertebrae and multiple cuts. Mayor Giuliani was flagged down by a woman who was a victim of domestic violence prior to the accident. He rendered assistance, so he pulled over like a good citizen, rendered assistance and contacted 911, remaining on the scene until responding officers arrived to ensure her safety, a spokesperson said. The accident occurred after he re-entered his vehicle, so he gets back into his vehicle, and then hit was from behind at a high speed, injuring him. Crazy. Tries to go out of his way to help somebody, and bam. I knew a guy one time, folks, that walked out. You never know when it's your day to go, by the way. You just don't know. I knew this guy, walks out of his apartment, sees a U-Haul. He was on the second story, sees some guys trying to get a couch out of a U-Haul. This is true, by the way. This is a true story, what I'm going to tell you. He sees them struggling with the couch, so he decides, I'll go help him real quick. And he was a strong guy. He gets up on the U-Haul to help them with the couch. He slips off the bumper or the back of the U-Haul, hits the head, the couch hits him, and he's dead. That's how he died. Isn't that crazy? One day, wakes up, didn't know that was the last time he was going to lace on his shoes, walks out to help somebody in need with a couch, slips, and dies. It's just crazy. Life is insane. I've been thinking about a lot about life lately because of what's going on with my family. And I got to tell you, it's just, every moment is a gift, man. Every moment is a gift. That's all I can say. As we head into the first days of September and into the fall, Trump posts this really weird, bold letters, irregular. It's not really irregular for Trump, but it was a strange, ominous message on his True Social that just says good night. And here it is, good night. And I'm going to bring on Joshua Reed right now to talk about what the hell does this mean. Josh, here you are, man. One of my favorite guests, dude. What the hell are we looking at here? And I gave you the rules and regulations in the dressing room. Keep the punches high, no punches below the belt. In case of a knockdown, run to the neutral corner for the standing 8. All right, go for it.
Well, Nino, firstly, I need the coffee that you're drinking, man. Wow. Some energy right there. But, everybody, I hope you're all doing well out there. And welcome to season 20, episode 25 of Earth. This is where it gets strange, weird, and even better. It's going to get interesting. So Trump posted this last night, and he posted it at 9:54 p.m. This is 2 days in a row, Nino. He posts something at 9:54. Yeah, two days in a row. This time it was good night, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Now I looked at it and I said, wait a minute. I recognize that. And I went to our boards, our friends over on the boards, and I said, why does this look so familiar? Well, sure enough, the 9:54 board post says next week, boom, boom, boom. And I go, booms are exclamation points. There's 3 exclamation points. Next week, he says good night. I said, that's an adjective and a noun. A noun specifying time. Week, next week, and then you have good night. Those are indications of time. You have good and next, which are both adjectives, and then 3 exclamation points. I said, the odds of Trump doing that, and he's done this multiple times, just randomly, hey, every once in a while, maybe if that was just random noise, okay, random noise. But when he does this consistently, and if everybody remembers, there was another post he did this weekend, which made mainstream news. I mean, you have Alex down in Austin talking about this stuff. Oh my goodness, I can't believe Trump did this, right?
Right, but he's also saying But he's also saying Trump is sick right now. There's a lot of stuff Alex is saying that
I think
trying to keep up with.
Disinfo out there.
Okay.
Nino, I want people to think about this. This weekend, the rumor started that Trump was dead. Right. This is the rumor that happened this weekend. It was everywhere. The mainstream media even picked it up. What's he do the next day? Goes and does 2 rounds of 18 holes of golf. Okay. I don't know anybody. So I golf. If I do 18 holes, I'm sore. My shoulders hurt. I'm sweating. This dude do 2 rounds in a day. Yeah. He's 79. What, 79, 80 years old? Dude,
well, I'll drive the caddy, Josh. I mean, that's what I do. I drive the caddy. I remember I did a golf tournament with Tim Hardaway one time. We drank tequila and took the caddy off-roading.
Yeah, there you go.
That's my golf.
He just went out and played 2 rounds of golf, and people are like, no. So the same people that are saying Trump's dead or we haven't seen him in hours are now like, why is he golfing, man? Doesn't he have better things to do? Like give the guy a break, man. He's saving the world for goodness sake. But the fact that he's going out there playing 2 rounds of golf in a day after the whole rumor circulated, I found was just bittersweet for that.
Like in your face,
like in your face, because Trump going and playing 2 rounds of golf. Dude, firstly, if anybody out there has played 2 rounds of golf in a day, you're just like, okay, yeah, I like that's not easy. And when you're Donald Trump doing that, whoo,
79 years old.
Yeah. Like,
so what are we looking at? What are we looking at here, Josh? What do you expect to come? Because now we got Mueller saying, okay, I got Parkinson's. He's pulling out. They're going to try everything before I believe the homicides and self-deleting happens. I think that's going to happen probably in the
self-deleting weekend. Self-deleting weekend was the board post for yesterday. Now, this is interesting, Nino. If you go back a week and a half, former Attorney General Bill Barr testified in front of the House committee that we were just talking about, same one that Jeff Sessions did. Now, after he came out of the closed-door session, everybody was like, oh, Bill Barr testified, nothing new, and he gave his testimony. Well, this last week, about, what was it, August 28th, Jeff Sessions went in there and testified.
Oh, wow.
But you didn't hear anything about it.
No, nobody heard it.
It's not on the news. Nobody's saying anything about it. Number one thing is Jeff Sessions left the Trump administration in 2017. Nobody has heard from Jeff Sessions on social media or even in public interviews since February 21st, 2020.
Really?
Yes. He just testified this last week in D.C. in a closed-door session, and there's been no word from anybody of what Jeff Sessions
said. The media is
not
covering any of this, Josh.
No. Well,
I mean, people have to go to like syndicates like you and I to get this information because this is not being covered at all. It's like they're doing their best to keep this as low under the radar as possible.
That's right.
I mean, do you think they'll even cover it? I mean, nobody's even talking about Hillary and Bill testifying.
Oh, well, I don't know if Bill's going to make it to testify. I mean, did you see him this weekend? Him and Hillary are catching a flight. Who knows? Maybe to Haiti. And Bill's got his pocket defibrillator with him.
Interesting.
Now think about this in the sense of you remember about a year ago when talking about Donald Trump coming back in the office and how he was afraid, and he goes, well, I don't know if they're going to send me to a place with a view like Gitmo, or maybe they'll send me to the Colorado Supermax.
Right.
I said this. And he goes, it's already been decided. And now we're seeing him walking around with a defibrillator. And I said something
may happen.
I said months ago, I bet you is the next president to
go under, to delete.
Yeah, to delete, to go away. And I said
and they would need that kind of distraction, wouldn't they?
October.
But Josh, they would need that distraction. The deep state would need that distraction.
So yeah, I think that the deep state would need that distraction. But you know, Nino, when we start to look at the battlefield of the deep state is it's in shambles. It's done. Like if we look at number one, you remember like before the midterm elections in 2020 or before the midterms in 2022, all you heard on X and social media was the Democrats have raised $100 million. The Democrats have raised $200 million. We're pulling in tons of money. Look how much money we raised. When was the last time you heard anything about the Democrats raising money?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Not since then.
Cricket, silence.
And Trump is getting ready to sign an executive order. He's already flirting with it on. Mm-hmm. We know about Tina Peters. We know about all that. I don't want to talk about it on YouTube, but Tina Peters. Now Trump is yelling for her to come out or face harsh punishments. And we're hearing now that he might sign an executive order, or I've heard that he's going to, regarding in-person paper ballots, that type of thing. Now we'll be careful what we talk about on that, but that's all coming. Their day's done. And it's not just the Democratic Party. It's the rhinos. It's the deep state. They're good as dead.
Well, it is. Right now, it's the reckoning. They have been rendered powerless. There was another Truth Social post that Trump put out this weekend that correlated with a lot of the stuff that I've been covering. And I told you about this. The last time we did Nino's Corner, I told you about this after the show. Well, if you listened, Pete Hegseth last week came out and started talking about it. Pete Hegseth came out and started talking about, hey, we need to review Microsoft and a lot of their stuff because there's been a big compromise. Well, Trump actually put out a Truth Social post that went directly to this. Do you remember the Rose Garden True Social post where he's talking about the crack in the foundation?
Yes.
If you break that down and look at it, I got it on my X profile. If you break it down and look at it, he's talking about the infiltration inside his administration over the last few months. And what have we seen? 𝗬𝗏𝗏 takes over all hiring and firing inside the White House. We have a massive purge coming about through the CDC. That was pretty interesting. Robert Malone started talking about this, that the ACIP subcommittee on COVID
let's not talk about that.
was approved.
Right.
It was approved. So basically, for people on RFK side, is they were going to open up and look into these things. And so what we find is Bill Gates. What happened to Bill Gates this last week? He goes into the White House, meets with Donald Trump.
That's crazy to me.
The same day.
Crazy to me.
But the same day, he de-invests from a NGO known as 𝗬𝗶𝗱𝗶 Advisors.
Wow. The same exact day that he met with Trump at the White House.
Same day. He pulls hundreds of millions of dollars of investment capital out of 𝗬𝗶𝗱𝗶 Advisors. Now, who's 𝗬𝗶𝗱𝗶 Advisors? Right? Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah. Be careful here.
Well, no, it's called dark money. It's just dark money. It's just a way to move money. Okay. But if you think of other NGOs that we've already talked about, they're all associated with it. Well, Bill Gates pulled out of that. And then what do we see? We see the CDC get completely renovated. Well, all of those were Bill Gates' lackeys. So the same day that Bill Gates meets with Donald Trump, you have him pulling hundreds of millions of dollars out of 𝗬𝗶𝗱𝗶 Advisors, and then you see all of his lackeys get terminated from the CDC. That's not a coincidence. And what else do you have? You have Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump saying, we would like to own a part of a lot of these tech companies, including Microsoft. And what did we find? So I don't know if your audience knows about Detachment 201. We've talked about this a few times. This is where Trump went and created the chief information officer, the chief production officer of Microsoft, Meta, and now you have 10% ownership of Intel, and then you have OpenAI. Well, the chief production or technology officer on these companies is now a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army Reserve, known as Detachment, I believe it's Detachment 301, Detachment 301. So for people out there that are looking at that, it's not the people. Yes, they are the lieutenant colonels. It's the position. It's the board seat that's going to be attached to the Pentagon for these companies forever. What does that mean? Is that whoever holds that position is, number one, going to be sworn under oath to the United States Constitution. Number two is the legality falls no longer under regular jurisdictional authority. It falls under Article 10, the UCMJ, which means that they are completely legally liable to the United States military, the Pentagon, and the people of the United States and the U.S. Constitution. And this is Meta, Palantir, OpenAI.
They're now all under the military supervision.
That's right. So people are like, why is Palantir getting all these contracts? Like it's a takeover, Peter Thiel, right? No, look at the position. The position of their chief product officer, is there. It's crazy.
Gift card winner number 2, Grateful Granny ×5, baby. You got it, Grateful Granny. Thank you so much for playing Sancho's cheap date competition. You got the wiener, the chicken dinner. Orale, all right. So, Josh, let me ask you some other questions here. Right now we're seeing battleships surround Venezuela. And Venezuela is now activating a militia. What the hell's going on? I've always said there's going to be some sort of cartel warfare, but it looks like Trump is taking to the offense. He's going in after them. I know that right here on the border security is off the charts. I mean, army everywhere, military everywhere. There's like zero apprehensions. I mean, it's crazy to see what's going to happen with Venezuela. What do you expect to see, bro?
Dude, number one is I was in the Navy for 10 years. My first 6 years.
I didn't know it was 10 years. You were in there for 10 years?
Yeah. First 6 years, I was out of San Diego, and 2.5 times I deployed to the Southern Pacific on narco terrorist deployments. Now, firstly, a shout out to one of your listeners, Boats. I know you're out there, Michael Lawson, brother. holding it up. He was there with me during these deployments, man. And he
Really?
hit me up the other day. He's like, man, I saw you, Nino. I'm like, what's up, brother? So, okay. But so what we did out there were narco deployments. So we interdicted human trafficking operations and drug trafficking operations in the South Pacific. Now, typically what you're going to have is you're going to have 1 or 2 U.S. Navy assets in the Pacific, 1 or 2 Navy assets in the Atlantic. And then you would have like a P-8 or a P-3 flying overhead doing air support. That's basically all we would have out there. Right now, you have 4 destroyers, 2 cruisers, 1 submarine, 2 amphibs, and 4,500 Marines. You know, that's a preparation for invasion and war. You
but
don't
they have right. But isn't China supplying them with fighter jets now? And I've heard weapons. I mean, artillery.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. Venezuela is a proxy for China.
Boom.
Everybody has to understand this. So, number one, we had an inflow of things that came over the border, right?
Right.
Okay. They came from, we would say, Darien Gap in Panama. Well, Darien Gap in Panama is right next to South America, Venezuela. There's only one landmass or one thing that actually connects Venezuela and Panama. It's the Bridge of America. Went under it multiple different times going into Panama through the canal. Okay. So how did those people get the Darien Gap? How did people from the Middle East, Northern Africa, or China get to Panama? Well, they were dropped off in Venezuela. Well, how did they get to Venezuela? How did they cross the Atlantic Ocean? They had to have flown or came in on big ships. Well, who paid for that, you know? China. China paid for that.
Ding, dong, dong, ding.
That's right. China paid for that. So a lot of that inflow over our border was funded by them. Now, Maduro is nothing more than an agent. This is why China is directly connected with the fentanyl. Fentanyl is distributed through the cartels and the gangs. That seats up in the United States. So what Trump is doing now, and this goes back to conversations we've had, 20,000 troops on the southern border, National Guard being employed throughout the country, is that the military presence there is, number one, a deterrent against Maduro, who has a $10 million bounty on his head by 𝗵𝗶𝗶𝗶 just 3 weeks ago.
And he put one on Trump's head to answer back, didn't he?
That's right. But what do we have in our country? Well, we had 23 million people inflow into our country. A lot of them, Agua, gangs, cartels associated with Venezuela, with Central American and Mexican cartels that are sleeper agents. Yeah.
Now, do you believe that they're going to be activated at the right time, or should they have been activated already, or do you think they're waiting for the right time to be activated?
So I would say that they're waiting for the right time to be activated, and that the naval presence right now off the coast of Venezuela is feel free to activate them and watch what happens.
Right. We're going to get you. We're going to bomb the hell out of you. Do you think this has anything to do with China's Xi rolling out the red carpet for Putin and Modi as Trump upends global relations? So right now, China's rolling out the red carpet for these superpowers. I think that's India and Russia right there, if I'm correct. Do you think this has anything to do with it? These relationships that are happening right now, because the leaders of the world's biggest democracy will all be hosted by Chinese leader Xi Jinping this weekend at a summit designed to showcase Beijing as a global leader capable of providing a counterweight to Western institutions. Is this how they're responding? I mean, what's going on here?
Man, this is what people need to start paying attention to. Listen to what Donald Trump says about certain things. He said just last week, he says, I talked to Xi Jinping and Xi said that they're not going to invade Taiwan or any of that stuff right now, that they're afraid of us, and that when did he talk to Xi Jinping? We haven't seen any formal call. We didn't see any transcript of that call.
Right.
Do you remember a few weeks ago when he said that I talked to Vladimir Putin every week? And then Vladimir Putin was at the BRICS summit down in Brazil, got up in the middle of a talk and said, I got to go take the call from the president.
Damn.
So now you have Putin and Trump that met in Alaska, a week and a half ago, and now Putin's meeting with Xi Jinping and Modi. Listen, these guys are in communication with each other. They're talking to each other. Now, do I think that Xi is running China fully and that the China beast is under Xi's control and direction? Honestly, I don't. I think that China has the same problem the United States has had for 50 years. They have infiltration, they have a deep state, they have a massive infrastructure. The CCP is massively huge. We know that if you go back to 2022, remember when the mainstream media was saying that Xi Jinping had a coup?
Yes.
And that he was potentially dead? But then he shows back up at the CCP annual meeting, removes Jintao, the old premier, removes Jintao from the meeting. He's like, what's going on here?
I remember that clearly.
Yeah, so there is the same structure existing in China that there is in the US. So what we're seeing right now is the formulation of this infrastructure, what I call the deep state intelligence apparatus, that is basically scurrying around the planet trying to get their resources in place for a counterattack. But it's just not going to work. So
do you think all of this culminates at the same time? Do you think the war with, I mean, do you think we're actually going to strike Venezuela? I've heard we're already making drone strikes within Mexico on cartel families' homes.
I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt that.
I've heard this. I don't have validation, but I've heard from some pretty good sources. Also, let's talk a little bit about the border news for a second, because right now, as I like to go through these articles as we do this, massive news, folks. President Trump's HUD Secretary Scott Turner is now kicking off all illegal immigrants from Section 8 housing, demanding proof of citizenship for the Section 8 tenants. No longer will illegal immigrants be able to leave citizenship boxes blank or take advantage of HUD funding houses, riding the coattails of hardworking American citizens. They're done. They're out. This, to me, Josh, is a huge step, because they're all in Section 8 housing, man, all of them. So what's going to happen now? This is, in a way, getting them to self-deport. Now they have no way to live here. They have no way to make money. I'm telling you, man, when I'm flying in and out of airports now, I'm noticing a huge drop in population in the airports. I don't see, like, flying from El Paso to San Antonio, at least in Texas, dude, they're cutting down the flights. They're cutting down the flights completely. They're used to, because there was 80 to 100 seats open. I've never had that before. And now they're cutting down flights because nobody's flying.
Well, here's my thoughts on that, Nino, is that we had a problem in this country, right? Now, if you understand the growth rate of the United States of America, population growth rate, we need approximately 3.1% immigration into this country to sustain our population growth rate. Right now, it's at 1.8%. Now, you can't recompensate that with illegal immigration. You have to compensate it with good immigration, with legal immigration through the right process. And what Donald Trump said is, hey, I want the smartest and the brightest to compete to come to our country to be a part of our country, right?
100%.
So in order for that to begin to happen again, for that to reset the clocks, is you got to get rid of all the freeloaders that came in here. And I'm sorry I call them freeloaders, but that's exactly what it is.
They're sucking off the system, the taxpayers' dollars.
Yeah, and not only that, they're sucking off the system, and there's people in this country that are sucking off the system. But it was exploitation of the system.
So do you agree with me that what's coming in this new paradigm, this new society, which I can't believe I'm saying this, but this new AI-controlled surveillance society, because that's where it's going, and it's going to be all, I can go really deep into this, and that could be a different show, but surface level right now, I'm going to say, I don't believe, I don't believe that homeless are going to be able to exist. I don't believe drug addicts are going to be able to exist. I don't believe illegals are going to be able to exist. Criminals, because I think the surveillance is going to be so strict. Society, the AI is going to take the lower level, mid-level jobs. You're not going to be able to exist in this society unless you're a contributor, and unless you're actually contributing to this society. Otherwise, where's going to be your place? I mean, in DC, they're already picking up homeless people, taking them to encampments. Where are they really going? I don't know. What's your thoughts on this, Josh? Do you agree with me that I don't think society is going to be able to? I think the people that are the bottom feeders, the criminals, there's going to be a special place for them. They're not going to be able to thrive in this coming society.
Yes. So my thoughts on that, Nino, are this: is that I when I look at AI, the number one thing that I see is a tool, a resource.
Right.
And with any tool or resource, it can be weaponized. It's a double-edged sword. It can be used for good. It can be used for bad. Is there the potential out there right now for AI to take over and take control? The way things are going, absolutely. The way things that are expanding right now, absolutely. But if you look at the moves that Donald Trump's made, at least with Trump or Vance in office, we're not going to have to worry about the nanny surveillance state or anything like that. But who knows what happens on the road? So there's a few things that you need in order to make sure that doesn't happen.
You trust JD Vance?
I get good vibes from JD Vance. I don't get anything evil or, oh my God, I'm Peter Thiel's henchman, right?
You think he'll be used as like a Trump tool? I don't want to call him a tool, but he'll probably be taking orders from Trump behind the scenes, correct?
100%. So do I see kind of AI turning into a surveillance state? I kind of do, but not in the way that we're seeing it. Because number one, the tech bros, they already believe it's happening. And what their objective is to integrate into AI the save humanity. That's why there's this biomedical push and rush to do all this. But I think that what we're about to see over the course of the next 2 to 3 years technologically is going to blow our minds. And I think that safe protocols are going to be put in place to ensure that this stuff doesn't expand. And I mean, if you ever wanted to get fringy on this conversation, I wrote an article on this. We're fastly approaching what's called the singularity event. This is where artificial superintelligence actually comes about. Now, are you a Trekkie? Do you watch Star Trek or anything?
Hell no.
Okay.
But why are you?
I'm a Trekkie, dude. I'm a Trekkie.
Are you dressed up as a Klingon?
No. Well, I'm more of a next generation Trekkie.
Okay. Do you like Star Wars or Star Trek better?
I like both of them, but I'd rather watch next generation Star Trek than anything Star Wars.
Dude, I'm open to checking these events out, to be honest with you. Do they even have these events anymore? Do you go to these events like Trekkie?
Oh, I don't go to these events. No.
Oh, come on, bro. Then you're not a true Trekkie.
But one thing that I want you to see here is that there's something in the lore of Star Trek called First Contact and the Prime Directive. The Prime Directive basically says is you never interfere with a developing civilization. Right? Because you could harm them. They could destroy themselves, or they could develop some crazy technology to destroy everybody else.
And the karma comes back to you, right?
That's right. And then on the other side is that when they do develop faster than light travel, that's when you make first contact. That's when you invite them to the universe, not because you're friendly, but because you don't want this civilization that just developed faster than light technology to go out there and interfere with other developing societies or to wage war against your friends.
So there is kind of like a galactic federation. There's rules and regulations on the universe.
There absolutely is. Now, here's the important part. Once we hit artificial superintelligence, we now qualify in that sense of technology, that we become one of those civilizations that, hey, we better reach out to them before they hurt someone or themselves. Because if AI takes us over and becomes all powerful and then goes out to the galaxy, what if they start attacking other civilizations?
So how do we know this is not already an alien intelligence taking us over with AI?
Because
there's different ways to look at this.
So yes, and listen, that's one of my theories as well. Is that number one, AI is technology that's been reverse engineered since the 1940s. That's why it started with computer technology. If you were an advanced alien race and you wanted to infiltrate a planet, you wouldn't send drones, you wouldn't send spaceships, you wouldn't send, AI robots or anything like this. What you would send is a spacecraft to crash at a point in time when a civilization is becoming technologically advanced, but are still not far along advanced as you would suspect them to be. Probably, and what you do is you would send a spacecraft that has highly advanced propulsion, weapon systems, and navigation, but then maybe a computer system that's only 50 to 100 years more advanced than them. So to take them 50 years to begin reverse engineering that and developing it. And if you
it's like giving a bunch of monkeys or chimpanzees a computer in the jungle and have them play with it. I mean, that's how they look at it.
Yeah. And so what happened is that 1947, the same time as Roswell, you go from the vacuum tube, which was like as big as my water bottle, a vacuum tube, right? transistor to a transistor the size of that pen tip right there that you could fit thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of transistors onto a circuit card. This gave birth to what's known as the Silicon Valley.
Interesting.
So we made this giant leap in technology from 1947 to 1952. And you had two events.
Explosion.
You had Roswell and Alamogordo, New Mexico's both crashes at that point in time.
Alamogordo, that's just right up the street. Hold on, let me get to the next gift card winner. Next gift card winner, Michelle Gill. I feel like you've won many times, Michelle. I don't know. Michelle Gill, 2461. Thank you so much for playing. Wiener, chicken dinner. You got it done. All right. Go on, Josh.
So when we start to look at what would happen there is, what if an alien civilization, number one, wanted to invade our planet, or number two, wanted to help us out and say, hey, look, we're going to help you guys out. We're going to give you a little lift. And what they did is they sent a spacecraft here. It has highly advanced propulsion. We can't figure out how this thing flies or anything like that, but we figured out how the computer systems work. We said, hey, this looks familiar. We get this, the computer systems. And they go out there and reverse engineer the computer systems, and they start developing it and then expanding that whole infrastructure within our society.
And then boom, now we got iPhone.
What if it was a Trojan horse? What if it was a Trojan horse? What if we just built the whole infrastructure of their AI?
Right. And that's how they would properly take us over.
That's right. And so not a shot was fired and they didn't have to do anything.
So what's your thoughts of this 3-eye atlas that's coming through the solar system right now? I've always said they're going to play the alien card, I think, and it's coming right on time, or right around the time that we would expect to see clickety clank, clickety clank. I think they said October 31st, November 2nd, somewhere on that time frame. This ship is just pushing through our solar system. What's your thoughts on this? I mean, it's propulsion. I'm kind of skeptical about that, but they're sure advertising it.
If I'm a highly advanced alien civilization, I'm not going to take months to travel through a solar system.
And it's 20 miles long, by the way. It's 20, 25 miles long, this thing.
I think that what we're seeing right now with 𝗬𝗏 and this one is that, number one, these are both interstellar objects that are flowing into our solar system. And this is only the second object other than 𝗬𝗏 that's came into our solar system. And both of them had peculiar traits about them that we've never seen before. What this is telling us is that the atmosphere outside of our solar system is way different than inside. That our physics and understanding of physics is completely wrong. And I think that that's the point of all this. Now,
can we even trust what NASA's telling us, Josh? No. I mean, come on. I mean, this is coming from NASA. You know, I mean, I right then and there, that completely, to me, I throw this out of the window. I just kind of go, okay, whatever. We all know the alien card is going to be played anyway, and I would think it's going to get played right now, dude.
Well, I think that the alien card is going to be played, but I don't think it's going to be played in the bad way with what people are saying, blue beam and all of this. I think that what the world is prepping for right now, Nino, is I think they're prepping for this. And here's my thought.
For a real alien encounter. Real.
I've researched this for 30 years. Okay. I know some whistleblowers in this community, legitimate, that have filed with the government, with IGs, like legitimate whistleblowers, people that work in these programs, legitimize, right? I've talked to them, and this is some of their thoughts as well, is that for the last 50 years, there has been a preparation underway in the world to prepare for what's coming. Okay. Now they all say 2027 to 2035, somewhere in that time frame, something's going to happen. Something's coming. Now, with AI happening at the same time, I'm like, go back to my whole first contact aspect of things. But when I start to look at this is what I begin to see, is that the deep state, the cabal, they understood that this was coming. And they knew that they had...
So they were preparing for this. They're not manufacturing it. What you're saying is they knew this event's coming and they were preparing for it. They weren't manufacturing it. This is not a deep state manufacturing.
They were preparing for it. And so what they wanted is they wanted ET
to have everything together and be organized.
To be their saviors, to their God. So think about if ET showed up and there was a massive war waging on, or a pandemic rolled through and wiped out 85% of the population or something like that. And ET comes down and goes, "Oh, we're here to help you." And then,
but aren't they still going to do that? I mean, if that's what they were hoping for to happen,
there's any need to.
Right, not now because of Trump. But what I'm saying is,
right.
So what good is going to come from this civilization that's hurling through our solar system right now? What's going to happen? It's going to put a stop to all the, it's going to be a massive distraction at the very least. And what is it going to bring us?
Well, I think Atlas is just a comet that's very obscure, or maybe a deep space probe from something else, right? I think that's most likely what that is, or something that we completely don't understand at all.
I personally believe this is going to be nothing. I don't think anything's going to happen with it. I think
I think we're going to learn nothing from it. But do I think it's nothing? No. For all we know, it could be some sentient life form in the universe that exists in that space, and it's breathing, and that's why it's getting off the nickel and sulfur or whatever, right?
So you think it's conscious? You think it's consciousness? It has a conscious.
We don't know nothing about this universe. We've been lied to by the scientific community. We've been lied to by NASA.
So changing gears for a second here. Do you pay attention to football?
A little bit.
All right. So what's your thoughts on folks? I got to do this. It's a little segment I'm adding in here. Because I'm starting to pay a lot more attention to college ball. I've paid a lot more attention to college ball than I do NFL. Arch Manning, who is Arch Manning? Do you know? Is he like the nephew or the son of whatever? His nightmare out. Who's Arch Manning? Put him in here in the chat. I know he's related to Peyton and the other Manning, the other brother.
He's the nephew of Peyton and
right?
Eli.
So he's the nephew. So he leaves Texas reeling after Ohio State loss. I've got to play better for us to win. So he's all hype, no bark. Columbus, Ohio, with 2 Texas State troopers on his hip and tears welling in his eyes. Arch Manning took one last glance toward the Ohio State fans hanging above the tunnel as he exited Ohio Stadium here Saturday. It's a sight that will stick with it forever. A sort of nightmarish portrait, a blanket of scarlet-clad kids having rotated upside down, their ballot fists like this, hook 'em horns upside down. Extended index fingers and outreach pinkies. So all hype, no bite. Looks like he's crashing and burning. Have you paid attention to this kid? Because I was starting to watch him a little bit. I'm like, oh, man, he's failing here. So all that hype may have got to him. What's your thoughts on this?
I think that's probably what it is all that hype gets to him. I mean, listen. They're going to build. They've done this with all of the nephews and the kids of all of these. Jerry Rice's son and, the basketball. I forget the one basketball player whose kids playing and stuff.
Yeah.
They hype them all up. And then what happens?
LeBron's kid.
Mediocre.
LeBron's kid. You never. So they have an old saying in boxing. There's never 2 great fighters in one family. It's always just one. There's only one fighter per family. No matter how bad the kid wants to box or wants to learn how to fight, there's always just that one great fighter. Take Julio Cesar Chavez. His son is garbage. I mean, it's the same thing in every sport, I think. It's very rare to see 2, but you do see 2 great athletes in a family. It may be different sports. Well, Ken Norton
and Peyton.
Yeah, there you go. Ken Norton was a great boxer, and his son was a great football player. I mean, that does happen, but the same sport is so very rare. And with that being said, folks, Josh, stick with me. I'm going to read some what the fuck news. Listen to this shit, bro. In what the fuck news, 2 friends agree to shoot each other in the head while wearing Kevlar helmets. And now one is charged with murder. What? So 2 pals took turns shooting each other in the head with a rifle while wearing Kevlar helmets inside a home, with one man now being charged with the other's murder, according to authorities. Sean O'Donnell, 37, was taken into custody at his home in Houston, Texas on August 17th in connection to a shooting death of Aaron Prout, 34. These guys are in their 30s, man. You would think you'd see something like this from teenagers. These guys are in their 30s, dude. And they native of the UK, according to the Harris County Sheriff's Office. 2 pals were inside O'Donnell's home, firing at each other with a rifle while wearing the bullet-resistant helmets when Prout was seriously injured by the gunfire. The British man was transported to an area hospital where he died from his injuries, according to the sheriff. To me, this is like survival of the fittest. I mean, this is like low IQ, like hey yo, let's see who can outlive the bullet, and they're shooting each other in the head. Kevlar helmets. I've seen this happen before. I had a friend, I'm not going to say who he is, who wore a Kevlar vest and opted into getting shot in it. He did it. I saw him he was turning white. He was scared for his life. I'm like, bro, you don't have to do this. Why are you doing this? It's good, but it's good content, bro. It's good content. I'm telling you, I know what I'm doing with my content. He went out there, they shot him, he survived it. He got shot in the Kevlar. He's wearing a Kevlar vest. But dude, to shoot each other in the head with Kevlar helmets, this is insane, dude. Like, this is where we're at. I bet you they were recording the whole thing on Instagram or something.
Yeah, this year's Darwin Award goes to these two guys right here. Number one is there's all different types of armor out there, and they're all rated for different velocity and impact compression bullets, right? So, like, if you have level 3 or level 4 or level 4A or whatever, Kevlar helmets are typically rated for like a 9mm pistol.
Boom, that's it.
Not for a rifle.
Wow, dude.
So, number one, these guys are just morons. And you know, I don't know if you remember the comedian Bill Hicks.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love Bill Hicks. And he does this thing about, this guy that was on drugs and jumps off a building, thought he could fly. He goes, F him. If he thought he could fly, why didn't he take why didn't he go off from the ground first? You don't see ducks trying to fly south, taking an elevator up to the roof to jump off. Like, exactly. He goes, good, we lost a moron. The world's lighter. Let's celebrate. And that's what I feel about this guy right here, right? Good, we lost a moron. Let's celebrate.
I feel the same way. And the guy should go to jail, dude. Look at him. Who does it? I would expect this from like 9-year-old kids, maybe.
Were they smoking meth or drinking or something?
It said, hard to believe so-called friends would take turns shooting at each other wearing a Kevlar helmet inside a house in a residential neighborhood. I don't think they were, man. I think they were sober. It says nothing about being on drugs.
And the second part is they shot at each other wearing probably the same Kevlar helmet over and over and over again, which Kevlar weakens after each impact.
Oh, my Lord, dude. Yeah, so the Darwin Award. Yeah, morons.
We lost the moron. We lost the moron.
All right, folks. Winner number 4, Mr. Muggsy's Pride. Mr. Muggsy's Pride. Wiener, chicken dinner. Thank you for playing. Folks, I'm out of here. Josh, thank you so much. Alex, are you there?
I'm here, Nino.
Good show.
Great show. Yeah, Josh, thanks for being here, man. This was really good.
Appreciate it.
All right, Josh, I'll get you over at ninoscorner.tv, and you can go to redpills.tv, folks, redpills.tv, and ninoscorner.tv right now, half off everything. Everything's half off. I'm doing it just for a couple days, maybe a few days. I don't know. Get over there right now. Generals 10 is going to be awesome this month, and Ringside with Nino tonight at 5 p.m. We're out of here, folks. Peace. Later. And the new heavyweight champion of podcasting and the black sheep of broadcasting, folks. I'm out. Peace.